I'm recording the session now. So it's gonna be the first class of our last level, which is advanced, right? This level, it's going to be more conversational as the previous one, similar, something actually very similar. And this week especially, it's like a little review of some things that we have seen before, but it's more directed to other different topics, like communicative topics, but with the same things. The first thing that I want to ask you is like, how easy how easy is for you to socialize and make friends? Is it easy for you? Not that much? What do you think?
Teacher, depending.
Depending.
Depending of the situation, uh, of play or place or uh, uh, mm, how I feel.
Okay, very good. But
Mm,
in general terms, well, it depends, but it's very relative. Like when we say it depends, it's like it's very relative, yes. I was going to ask you something else. It's very relative, but in general terms, normally it's difficult or it's easy.
Normally is difficult because I don't talk very much.
I know. Okay, very good. That's it. But do you have a lot of friends or a few friends?
A little,
A little friends. Okay, very good.
two or three,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
no more.
Okay. And well, probably you have gone or probably you have not, but how do you feel when you have to go to events where there is a large crowd? You know what it's like, large crowd?
Yes, teacher. Muy congestionado,
Yeah,
muy lleno de gente.
that's the adjective, crowded, como congestionado, lleno. But a
Sí.
large crowd, it means like una multitud. So, have you ever gone to an event where there is a large crowd, like a concert or a dance club, and there is a lot of people?
Yes, teacher. And I don't like the place that are very crowded.
Okay, very good. How do you feel?
I feel very, how do you say, como invadido. ¿Cómo se
Okay,
dice?
like invaded. Yes, well.
Invaded my space.
Okay, good. Like limited.
Yes.
Okay, very good. That's it. Well, this first class, it's going to be talking about a little bit about the friendships, like if it's easy or not to socialize and to make friends for you. But basically, it's not that much about the friendship, but it's about some vocabulary that we have, especially in this week. Ready? My dear, help me to read this sentence and tell me if you understand.
Let's keep let's keep our friendship from drifting apart.
Exactly. Very good. So in that case, we're going to have two, well, one, like there is like a sentence. I don't know if you completely understand the sentence here or it's not very clear for you.
Teacher, it's not very clear.
Mhm. First, we're going to have one verb, which is keep from. Keep from. Do you know what is the meaning of keep something from or keep somebody from?
Es como conseguir, no, no,
No.
como hacer,
Well,
¿no?
tampoco, no. So in that case, we're going to have one phrasal verb, which is keep from. It means like avoid, similar to
Como
avoid.
mantener,
Yes, como mantener alejado de, o sea, como evitar algo.
evitar.
Exactly, evitar, right? And then we have another phrasal verb, which is drift apart. Do you have any idea what is the meaning of drift apart?
No, teacher,
No
I
idea.
don't idea.
Drift apart, bueno, drift, it's like similar to drive, no? And apart, it means like in different parts. So when I say drift apart, it means like desbaratarse o deshacerse o desarmarse, right? So drift apart, right? So when I say let's keep our friendship from drifting apart, it means let's avoid that our friendship finishes or gets damaged, right? So it means like vamos a evitar que nuestra amistad se separe, yes, like o se dañe, ¿listo? So in that case, we are going to have two sentences or two verbs, which are like, ¿qué? ¿Cómo así? My God. So which is keep from, and the other one is drift apart. Something that you have seen before in other different levels, it's something that we know as the phrasal verbs. The phrasal verbs are going to be verbs that are composed by two different parts, the verb and the particle, which normally it's a preposition. For example, up, down, apart, from, no? So normally that's the thing. One verb,
More.
yes, like more, down, off, by, a lot of different prepositions. And the idea is that when I combine that verb with that preposition, pues the meaning, it's going to change. I can have, for example, look. Yes. What is the meaning of look?
Mirar.
Mirar. But then I can have a lot of different varieties. I can say, for example, look back. Mirar atrás, look around. Like revisar, look up. That's similar to mirar literalmente hacia arriba o también admirar. When I say I am looking up to my mother, I admire my mother. So I have a lot of very big variety of phrasal verbs created with one same verb. No, some of the phrasal verbs are literal. Like for example, this one, drift apart. O sea, literalmente es como separarse, ¿no? Como dañarse. Other ones are not so literal. For example, este look up, it's like admirar, no es tan literal. A diferencia de look back, que sí es como, sí, literalmente voltear a mirar, o sea, mirar hacia atrás, ¿no? So in that case, those are the two different kinds of phrasal verbs. But also, and this is something that we see here, sometimes the phrasal verbs can be separable, and sometimes they can be inseparable. O sea, it means that sometimes I can separate the two parts of the verb, or sometimes I cannot separate them. For example, keep from, it's a verb which is separable. I can introduce something in the middle of the two parts. For example, keep our friendship from. Yes, I separate the part number two, that number one with the part number two, and in the middle, I included the object. The object is that thing that is going to receive the action, right? In this case, ¿qué es lo que se va a separar? Our friendship. Perdón, ¿qué es lo que vamos a evitar que se separe? Our friendship. So that's the thing. Yes, so I can separate them. In other cases, like for example, in drift apart, yes, I cannot say drift our friendship apart. No, it's just drift apart and that's it. It goes at the end and it's inseparable. So normally it's a verb that is not separate. Ready? So when we when we have the three parts, verb, preposition, and the object, we can accommodate those three parts in different ways. For example, let's see, wait a second. Let me erase this part. I can accommodate those three parts in different forms or in different ways. The most common one is that I use the verb, the preposition, and the object. Yes. For example, I can say, look around. Oh my God, color. Yes. I can say, look around. And I can say, look around the room. O sea, como revisa el cuarto. Look around the room. Yes, like that's it. But look around, it's a verb which is not separable, right? So in that case, I cannot have look the room around. No, it's inseparable. I cannot separate it. No lo puedo separar, right? So always has to work in this option. with the object at the end, el objeto al final. Ready? It's more common when we talk about impersonal actions, like for example, something that it doesn't have a specific object, and a specific subject, sorry. But in that case, for example, this is one other example. Look around, it's not separable. We have other verbs, like for example, let's say, I have another one. I have another one. Well, for example, pick up. We have the verb pick up. And I say, for example, pick up the mess. It's a good idea, no? So verb, up, preposition, and the object, the mess. That's it. Mess is el desorden, no? But pick up is a verb that is separable. So I can separate it. And I can say, for example, pick, the object is going to be in the middle, or it can be in the middle. Pick the mess, because it's a verb that it's separable. It can be separated, right? So I said, okay, I have the two options. I can say pick up the mess or pick the mess up. Both options are right. But if I want to be shorter, and if I am talking about something that I previously mentioned, I am going to use the object pronoun. In this case, not for saying recoge el desorden, sino recógelo. Ese lo making reference to the mess. So in that case, I would say, for example, pick it up. Pick it up, right? Is it talking about the mess? If the object is a pronoun, si el objeto es un pronombre, I must, it's a mandatory thing that I have to put it in the middle of the two parts. I cannot use the object pronoun at the end. The object pronoun, no. The object name, yes. O sea, el nombre del objeto, yes. Pero el objeto pronombre, no. O sea, pick up it, that one is incorrect. If I'm going to use a pronoun, recógelo, it's going to be in the middle. Ready? And it can only happen with the separable verbs. Of course, when I say a non-separable verb, I cannot use it with the object pronoun. No lo puedo usar con el objeto pronombre porque si no tendría que separar las dos partes, and it's not possible. So that's why. Negative thing or negative information, this is only going to be memorized. There is no other way to do it but memorizing the verbs. So if you say like teacher, but una tabla, algo, no, the only way to do it, it's memorize, right? We're going to work today in some specific verbs, but the only way that you have to learn it is by memory, by heart, right? That's the only way. Okay, Andre?
Okay, teacher.
Listo,
That
María.
was my question.
I know. That's everybody's question because it's like, bueno, ¿y cómo lo hago? No, there is no way. Unfortunately, there is no way. Bueno, my dear. So over here, well, as I said, we're going to have some separable verbs, like for example, bring out. Bring out. What do you think it's the meaning of bring out?
I don't know. Me suena como saltar o no.
Casi. What is the meaning of bring?
I don't know.
Traer.
Traer.
Yes. So when I say bring out, it's like sacar, o sea, traer afuera, literalmente, es decir, sacar. Yes?
Sacar.
Exactly. For example, I said, a friend is someone who brings out the best in you. ¿Cierto? Because I have part number one, part number two, and the object. ¿Sí? Puede ser así. O, since this is a separable verb, pero lo hacemos un poquito más grande, wait.
Teacher, the best in you es como que saca lo mejor de ti o
Exactamente así, exacto. ¿Ready? Entonces, cuando digo lo mejor en ti o lo mejor de ti, es el objeto. ¿Qué es lo que saca? Lo mejor de ti. Right? Entonces, el bring is the verb, the out is the preposition, and the object is the best in you. Right? Pero como es separable, lo puedo hacer así, option number one, o simplemente, can I use a friend is someone who brings the best out in you. O sea, verb, object, and preposition. Of course, si yo quiero usar, dime, Adri.
but always is the object that receive the action.
sea,
So
que va a
the
cambiar en la
best
mitad,
is the
sí.
object that will receive action.
Exactly. For example, here we have a friend is someone who cheers you up when you are feeling bad, ¿no? Entonces, en ese caso, ¿quién recibe la acción? Lo que pasa es que en ese caso el objeto es una persona, ¿es? Que te anima. ¿A quién anima? A la persona, right? Pero recuerda que si tengo un objeto, un pronombre, es obligatorio que vaya en la mitad de las dos partes, right? I can say, for example, no sé,
Teacher, I say for the second option, for
here,
the best.
yes.
I
Yeah,
don't understand very well the best in the middle of the sentence.
ok, yes, because lo mejor, voy a decir, bueno, en este caso separan lo mejor y de ti, pero digamos que es el objeto, ¿no? The best is the object, ¿m? O the best
But
you.
the best don't receive the action.
No, digamos que, ¿qué es lo que saca? Cuando uno dice recibe la acción, no es como que reciba literalmente la acción, sino es
Literalmente
como,
la recibe.
exacto. Entonces, por ejemplo, cuando dice un amigo es alguien que saca, ¿qué es lo que saca? Lo mejor. Entonces, cuando responde esa pregunta, ¿qué es lo que saca? Ese es el objeto. Y aquí,
Ah,
¿qué es
okay.
lo que saca? Es lo mejor.
Ya, ya.
Right? Yes. En este caso, in the option number three, we have something similar. A friend is someone who cheer up. Cheer up es animar. ¿A quién anima? You. Entonces, ok, you es el objeto. ¿Ready? Entonces, literalmente no es como recibir la acción, sino digamos sobre quién recae la acción, se dice, pero pues ese sobre quién recae la acción, me dice, ¿cómo así que sobre quién recae la acción? Entonces es como si digo, eh, importar. Entonces, bueno, ¿qué importa? Ese objeto que importa, entonces es el objeto, ¿right? Entonces, literalmente es como lo que va después de la acción que estoy mencionando, ¿right? Yes. Good, okay. If I say, for example, I have, no sé, I have many good things. O sea, a person could say, I have many good things. Yes. ¿Cuál es el objeto? Many good things, of course, right? I said, my students bring out those good things. Pero como those good things ya lo había mencionado, lo que puedo hacer es cambiarlo. En vez de decir, mis estudiantes sacan esas cosas buenas, simplemente puedo decir, mis estudiantes las sacan, ¿cierto? O sea, haciendo referencia a many good things que ya lo había mencionado, en cuyo caso lo que hago es incluir un objeto pronombre, ¿cierto? Entonces, instead of saying my students bring out those good things, I can say my students bring them out. Ese them, obviamente, it's making reference to those good things. Está haciendo referencia a esas cosas buenas. ¿Ready? Entonces, pero si es objeto pronombre, them, you, it, him, her, it's necessary that it's going to be in the middle of the two parts. Ready? In the middle of the verb, the object, and the preposition. ¿Listo? Ahí no se puede colocar el objeto al final. Ready?
Okay, teacher.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. So good. Then it says, with the inseparable problem, phrase verb, sorry, the object cannot go between the verb and the particle. It has to go at the end. Ready? For example, the verb run into. You know what is the meaning of run into?
No, me suena como correr hacia adentro.
Literalmente es como correr hacia algo y significa en realidad como meterse en algo, como en un problema o encontrarse a alguien inesperadamente. Por ejemplo, here it's good friends are always happy to help when you run into a problem. Yes? Entonces el objeto siempre va a ir al final. Ready?
Okay, teacher.
Listo. I can also say, for example, I usually, no sé, I usually run into Andrea in the metro station. Yes, I usually run into Andrea in, no sé, Notivara Metro Station, for example. Sí, de eso es una estación, que ya no me acuerdo. En Tatata Metro Station. Significa encontrarse a alguien así como inesperadamente. Ready? That's like run into. ¿Mm? El objeto siempre.
With the three option, I can say I usually run her into.
No, exactly.
No.
That is the problem here. It's inseparable. So in that case, the object is
Ah, okay, okay.
always at the end. Siempre va a ir at the end.
Okay,
Sometimes,
run into is the inseparable phrasal verb.
exactly, run into is an inseparable phrasal verb. So the object is always at the end, even if it's a pronoun. Yes, a pronoun. For example, I usually run into her. Igual. Anyway, it's going to be at the end. ¿Listo? O sea, de igual manera, así sea un objeto pronombre, va a quedar al final. Aunque no se usa mucho, se usa más con el nombre del objeto, pero anyway, if it's with an object, it's going to go at the end. Okay?
Yes, teacher.
Perfect. Very good. There are other different verbs. Like, for example, I am going to ask you one question. A ver, let me just erase this part. Let me just make this question. Why did you break up with your ex? Puede ser inventado, no tienes que hablar. Why did you break up with your ex?
Mm, I broke up
Mhm.
with my ex uh, because in that moment we didn't see very much.
Okay, very good. We didn't see very much. Yeah. Then in that case, I have one phrasal verb, but this phrasal verb has three different parts. It's break, it's up, and with. Ready? Broke up with in past, in present, break up with. That is a phrasal verb of three different parts. Break up with, get along with. What is the meaning of? Do you know what is the meaning of? Espera, wait. My God. Get along with. Any idea what is the meaning of get along with?
No sé, teacher. Me suena como estar solo. No.
No.
Ah,
Get along
long.
with, it
Mm,
means llevarse bien con alguien or have a good
okay.
relationship. Ready?
Okay.
So, for example, I don't know, I usually get along with my students. I usually get along with no sé quién, with my best friend, with my mom, right? Or, for example, I can say, come up with. Any idea what's the meaning of come up with? One part, verb, preposition, other preposition. Three parts. Any idea?
Como llegar con alguien. No.
Almost. Come up with. Come up with it means like como salir con algo. O sea, no está literal, es un poquito más figurativo. When I say, for example,
Salir con alguien.
salir con algo, digamos como cuando uno dice como, ah, este man sí sale con bobadas, ¿no? Como
Sí, sí.
imaginar algo, desarrollar algo. For example, no sé, my students normally come up with crazy examples. So digamos que, o sea, literalmente en contexto formal diríamos como imaginar o desarrollar algo, pero digamos que más se asemeja al verbo cuando uno dice como a la expresión de, esta persona sí sale con locuras o con bobadas o no salió con un buen proyecto, ¿sí me entiendes? Como desarrollar o expresar algo, ¿right?
Okay, teacher.
Ujú. Entonces, if you notice, these verbs have three different parts. Break up with, get along with. No siempre termina con with. En este caso, coincidencialmente, sí terminan los tres con with, pero no siempre termina con with. All the verbs that are with three different parts, three word phrasal verbs, have a particle and a preposition. ¿Cierto? part, like two prepositions basically. And since they have three different parts, they are part of the inseparable verbs. So hang on to, and then the object. Break up with, and then the object. Come up with, and then the object. It's not possible to separate it to say, for example, I broke up him with. No, no. I broke him up. No, I broke up with him. Ready? So the object is always going to be after the three different parts. Ready? So, for example, I get along with my best friend. The object at the end. My students normally come up with crazy examples. Crazy examples, that is the object, in that case, at the end, after the three different parts. ¿Listo? So, a phrase verb de tres partes, siempre inseparables, para al final el objeto. ¿Ok?
Okay, teacher.
Listo, very good, excellent.
Teacher, but
Mhm.
for example, also there are breakout.
And of course, there are break, también tiene muchos, ¿no? For example, break apart, break down, break up, break out, ¿no? Hay muchos con break, ¿ready?
Okay.
Y algunos puede que sí sean separables, otros puede que no, ¿ready?
Yes, teacher.
Entonces, ¿cómo, digamos así, a manera de recomendación, cómo diferenciar si son separables o inseparables? Pruébalo de ambas formas y de la forma que menos feo te suene, es como la correcta, ¿no? Porque digamos, uno dice como break him up, lo rompí, no, no, pero no. Come crazy up with, no, o sea, uno prueba el objeto en diferentes posiciones y ahí uno se va como acomodando. Personally, I always use the object at the end. That is my personal decision because in that way, I don't have to take into account if it's separable, not separable. No, always at the end, and that's it. But that is my personal decision. That if you want to separate them, it's all right, all fine. With the time, with repetition and repetition, you are going to find or you are going to remember which ones are separable and which ones are not separable. Okay?
Yes, teacher.
Ready? Bueno, my dear. And there are other different verbs which are called intransitive verbs. Yes. Esos ya los habíamos visto, verbos que no tienen objeto, ¿cierto? Like, no es ni give me ni give them, no. Just like, no tienen objeto, nadie recibe esa acción. Impersonal actions. Ready? Those verbs are going to be always at the end. For example, drift apart, que ya lo vimos que es like desmoronarse o dañarse, ¿cierto? So in that case, it's kind of a reflexive action that it doesn't have any object. O sea, nothing, it's after the verb. It doesn't have pronoun, no, nothing. It's just the action, the end of the sentence. Ready? Probably I can include a complement of time. For example, true friends don't drift apart in their life or something like that, or in Colombia, no sé, something like that. But the action of drifting apart, it's not received by no one, right? So when I have an intransitive verb, of course, I don't have objects, so these ones are not separable or inseparable because they don't receive any object. So there is no need, there is no the necessity to separate these verbs, right?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, good. I know that it's a little vocabulary, but it's
is
just
it
Mhm.
is teacher in this case in the end uh, there are the phrasal verbs or complement, but
Mhm.
no object. No.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. No object.
No.
Nothing is receiving that action. Exactly.
Yes, teacher.
Muy bien, my dear. Bueno, for example, here we have one example. Could you please, my dear, read it?
Work on your memory.
What is the meaning of work on?
Trabajar en o sobre.
Trabajar en literalmente, pero digamos que when I say work on your memory, it's like exercise, like improve.
Ejercitar.
Yes, I mean, not literalmente como físicamente, sino como
Sí.
en improve something, mejorar algo, right?
Ujú.
So in that case, do you think it's possible to say work your memory on? Is it that possible? Or simplemente work on your memory?
It's possible for me
Yes. But what about if I say, for example, the verb work out?
also.
Also, okay, good. Bueno, workout is possible. I can say, for
I don't know.
example, it is very difficult, I know. So here, for example, workout is possible to separate. I can say work out your memory or work your memory out. But work on, it's commonly inseparable. So I would say
Ah,
work on your memory. Work your memory on could be, I don't know, I haven't ever listened it, but it's more normally used as inseparable. O sea, always together. Right? Yes, workout on the other hand, it is separable. I can use it, work out your yes, work out your memory or work your memory out. Both possibilities are going to be fine. Ready?
yes, teacher.
Bueno, my dear. So basically that's like the first part, which is the structure. Basically like the basis of the phrasal verbs and if it's separable or inseparable. Probably the most difficult part here, it's going to be memorizing all the verbs, right? Over here, we're going to find a very big list of separable verbs that they can separate it. Inseparable verbs, they cannot be separated, and intransitive verbs, o sea, nothing after that. For example, my plans are falling apart. What's the meaning of falling apart?
Teacher, I don't know.
Ese sí es muy literal. Fall,
Es como caer.
exactly. Y
Se
apart,
fueron.
exactly. Entonces es como derrumbarse, ¿no? Como
Sí. Ah, ok.
destruirse. Entonces, pero en ese caso, my plans are falling apart. Después de eso, nothing. Nadie recibe esa acción. It's intransitive. No tiene un objeto. Entonces va al final. Right? My plans
Ok.
are falling apart. That's it. ¿Mm? Different, for example, if I say, take back. Take back, it means like recuperar, you know. For example, I take my old job back. O sea que, what did I do?
Recuperé mi antiguo trabajo.
Exactly. Pero my old job, que es el objeto, está en la mitad. Claro,
Mm.
obviamente también puedo decir I took back my old job. It's fine. Pero como es separable, I can do it like that or in the middle. That's it.
Teacher, that is normal uh, for the people.
Depends on the person. For example, as I said, I don't like to do it that much. I prefer to use the object always at the end.
Ah,
And
ok.
I avoid like a problem, no? O sea, así evito un problema, that it's like memorizing if it's separable or not separable, doesn't matter because I always use the object at the end. Siempre uso el objeto al final. Entonces, in my case, it's normal, yes, but depends on the person. Not everybody does it, no todo el mundo lo hace, pero sí es normal que mucha gente lo haga. Ahora tienes que estar pendiente si es separable, si no es separable, si bueno, bla. That's the problem.
Yes, teacher.
Good. Bueno, for example, I can say, for example, that no sé, let's say we went over the topic many times. What's the meaning of go over?
Mm, es como ir hacia atrás, no sé. Yo le busco el significado muy literal, pero supongo que es como dejar algo atrás.
Digamos que el primer paso sí es hacerlo como lo haces, que es mirar qué puede salir de esa combinación, ¿cierto?
Sí,
Pero no es go back, sino go over. Si fuera go back, sí sería ir hacia atrás o pues regresar básicamente, ¿cierto? But here is go over.
ir adelante.
Almost over, it
Eh,
means sobre.
sí, como encima,
Exactly.
sobre.
Entonces, when I say we went over the topic many times, go over, it means like review, como repasar algo, ¿no? So,
Ah, ok.
Entonces we said, for example, like, let's
Es
go
difícil
over,
significado.
como vamos sobre ello otra vez, right? So, como ir sobre algo. So in that case, we went over the topic many times, pero aquí no es posible decir we went the topic many over, no, es inseparable. Entonces, el objeto, the topic, siempre estará after the verbs. ¿Listo?
Okay, teacher.
¿Cómo vas ahí? Good? Problems?
Good, teacher.
It's a matter
My
of
problem is the
vocabulary.
meaning of the phrasal verbs because I
Exactly.
don't have many vocabulary.
This is something that I strongly recommend for the last level to review. The rest of the structures you already manage it. Simple present, simple past, blah blah blah. But the vocabulary of phrasal verbs is something that we have to increase in this level. As whatever as it is, but we have to do it. Ready? I'm going to show you something that I want you to look. Give me 1 second. There are a
Teacher,
lot. Dime.
normally the phrasal verbs are very used for people.
A lot, Andre, a lot. But probably that's one of the biggest problems because they are very, very popularly used, right? And it depends. Bueno, that was what I was going to show you, and it's that depending the phrasal verb, no, sorry, depending the context, I can have one phrasal verb or I can have one meaning or the other. For example, bring up, we talk about that it's like bring, ya sabemos que es que. We saw it at the beginning of the class. Bring.
Yes, teacher, es como traer.
For example, we have bring up. Bring up, it means mention something. But in the context of memories and old habits. So as if we are remembering something, we said, I see, remember when we had our first class, and no sé qué. Entonces you said, the teacher likes to bring up all memories. Como que le gusta traer a colación, o sea, like mention all memories. Pero si yo uso bring up in the middle of a discussion, it's a different one. So, you like to bring up the bad things of me. Entonces, it's like similar to bring out. Es muy similar a bring out, right? Entonces, in that case, my dear, we are going to have to, mira, go over. Hablando de go over, it's here, right? Repeat, review something, ready? Entonces, recommendation, Andre, and this is something very useful, make groups of phrasal verbs. For example, here we have 5 phrasal verbs, all of them for memories and old habits. Just break away from, separate, look back on, remember, reflect on, analyze or think, ready? Solamente para ese tema, digamos, ese es un ejemplo. Maybe the next week you can say, bueno, esta vez voy a estudiar life changes. Just grow up, look forward to, start over, right? And you are going to notice that you start, for example, if you receive mails in English, there are a lot of different phrasal verbs that are used. For example, look forward to is expect for something. Normalmente, los phrasal verbs se cierran como looking forward to your answer, looking forward, no sé si alguna vez lo has visto, looking forward to, y tienen diferentes cosas, looking forward to your answer, o looking forward to hearing from you, como esperando tu respuesta, o esperando escuchar de ti, o tararara, tarará. Entonces, normalmente en el cuerpo del mail no se usan muchos phrasal verbs, ya que no son tan formales, pero sí hay expresiones ya preestablecidas, como por ejemplo esta, que sí se usa con phrasal verbs. Entonces, recomendación, haz grupitos de phrasal verbs según temas que tú veas, ¿ready? Y, pues los vas, digamos que aprendiendo, ¿ready? Les puedes preguntar a las IA, si quieres, de preguntarle al chat GPT, oye, hazme una lista de verbos, de phrasal verbs de no sé qué, de exercise, por ejemplo. Entonces él te va a decir, bueno, entonces we have stretch on o stretch out, ¿cierto? Stretch out, que es como estirar,
Le puedo
warm
pedir
up.
lista de phrasal verbs inseparables.
Bueno, eso sí, no sé si. Pues yo creo que sí, I would say so. Y te da la lista. Entonces, para que tú misma pues vayas creando tus propias listas. No en orden alfabético, porque si tú buscas una lista de phrasal verbs, es una cosa como de 100 hojas y no tiene ninguna conexión, simplemente estaba
Yes,
organizada.
teacher. The last weekend I tried to see a series
Ajá.
in English, and there were many phrasal verbs.
And especially music, movies,
Yes,
articles, they are full of phrasal verbs, full. Uh-huh.
yes,
And
teacher.
the difficult thing here is that many times the meaning is not that literal. So it's like, ah, no, pues, I suppose that this is something da da da, and it's not, it's something completely different. Ready? For example, here we have call off, which is separable. Any idea what is the meaning of call off?
Colgar.
Uno diría colgar, ¿cierto? Pues call, llamar, off, no, pues colgar, ¿cierto? Pero call off, it means cancel, cancel something. For example, when I say,
Ah, okay.
I call off the class because I was sick, I call off the class. Or I call the class off because it's separable, no? So I can use both.
Yes, teacher.
Good. Some of the verbs which are intransitive, some of them, algunos, estos que están acá, right? They are normally intransitive. O sea que después they don't receive any verb. For example, I can say, no sé, let's say, get away. Criminals, criminals normally can get away. Get away, it means like escape, no? Like salirse con la suya, right? So get away, it means like escape. Normalmente no tiene nada después, it's intransitive. But if I want to become transitive, I have to include another participle, another participle and particle, or another preposition. Yes? In that case, I can say, for example, ya no va a ser can get away, but can get away with their crimes. Some phrasal verbs, which are intransitive, can transform into transitive by including another preposition. Ready? Entonces, for example, get along, llevarse bien. For example, my mother and my wife get along. Bien, that's it. Pero si quiero usar,
Teacher, there are two options:
exactly, there are
get
the two
away
options.
or get away with the crimes.
Exactly.
Okay.
With two prepositions, with one preposition, get away, it's intransitive. That's it. If I include the second preposition, okay, it becomes transitive and inseparable, of course. Remember that all the phrasal verbs with three parts are inseparable, so I cannot separate. Ready?
Okay, teacher.
This is, for example, as I was saying, my wife and my mother get along. Se llevan bien. So that's it. No problem. Get along. Al final, ¿cierto? But if I say, my wife gets along with my mom. So in that case, I include the other preposition, and then I can transform the structure of the sentence. Ready?
For this case, it's more common
Yes,
with
it's
with.
it's more common with the third part because usually we include the object, but it depends on how do you structure the sentence. Ready? For example, no sé, let's say catch up, right? Catch up, it means como ponerse al día. So I say, for example, Andrea is trying to catch up. Fin, that's it. So tratando de ponerse al día. But if I say tratando de ponerse al día con quién o con qué, entonces, well, Andrea is trying to catch up to the last level or to the last week, for example. Yes? Depending how you structure your idea, sometimes you have to include or not include the last preposition. It depends on how do you structure your idea.
Yes, teacher.
Ready? Bueno, my dear. Good. We're going to have a final exercise over here in which we have like a kind of questionnaire. Ready? I want you to find Bueno, I'm going to highlight the phrasal verbs. Voy a resaltar los phrasal verbs que hay acá. Try on, get along with, give back, take off, looking after, you know, go back to, put on, round out of, ready? Bueno, off con la preposición final. Looking forward to, get together with, look alike, give up, turn off, turn on, go out with, very literal, find out, or in this case, found out, give away to, like, gift, leave off, like vivir de, yes, throw away, like get rid of, throw to the garbage, and bring up. Ready? Please select 5 of the phrasal verbs that you have there. Bueno, if you have one question in vocabulary, ask me. I am going to explain the ones that you need.
In the same structure. For example, I want to try on.
Well, no, but ask me if you have questions about the meaning of any of these phrasal verbs. Or
Okay.
do you know them more or less?
Give back.
Give back, give back. Ready? So, for example, my wife lent me this pen. Now I have to give it back to her. So return
Okay.
o devolver o regresar algo, right?
Mm, Put on es como poner algo.
Exactly.
Poner algo sobre algo.
Normalmente clothing.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's different of try on.
Try on es como probarse. Es decir, I go to the shopping center and I try on jeans, for example. But put on
Okay.
it because it's already here and you put it on for a normal day.
Okay. Mm, Life off es como dejar de vivir con alguien
No,
o.
vivir, es que creo que ese es solo una F, right?
Okay.
It's just live off. Ready? Life,
Life off.
live off, which is like, for example, I want to live off teaching. Quiero vivir de enseñar. I want to live
Ya.
off making videos on TikTok or something like that, right? Listo, dear. Ready? More or less.
More or less.
Listo. Find three. Hay palabras que uno le llaman la atención visualmente. Choose 3 verbs and complete the sentence that is right there.
Mm, I I want to try on a jacket that saw last weekend.
Perfect. Very good. That's great. Mm. Separable, no? So I could say, I want to try on a jacket, or I want to try the jacket on that I saw the last week.
All are separable.
No, not
No.
all. No, not all. When so I tried on, perfect. That's it. What other?
Mm, I am I going to leave off mm, financially a bit sorry
Assets. What do you mean assets? Como activos, no? Like
assets.
assets, yes.
No, como quería decir como de asesorías financieras,
Okay. Financial consultant.
consultant.
Exactly.
Okay.
Good. Very good. Excellent. So you want to leave off financial consultant. Normalmente, André, después de estos verbos, si quiero poner otro verbo, por ejemplo, aquí leave off, si ahí va otro verbo, como todos terminan en preposición, adivina cómo va el verbo. In gerund. For example, I can
Okay.
say, I want to leave off giving financial consultants. Could be. O simplemente financial consultant. That's it. So, and the last one more.
Mm, eh, I wish that my friend give back my book.
Bien, very good. Okay. Give back my book. Cierto. Very good.
Is
En ese
separate
caso,
or not separate?
es separado y específicamente aquí es importante que incluyas a quién. Entonces,
Ah, okay.
give,
My friend.
no, your friend is the subject. Your friend,
Ah,
give,
okay. Give my book back.
puede ser, very good, give my book back
Give
o give me
me
back
back.
my book para
Ah,
especificar a
okay.
quién se lo va a devolver. Give me back my book. Ready? Yes. Or give my book back to me. That's another possibility, as you prefer, right? Sandra, so it's important to, well, to make a lot of these exercises because the vocabulary, that's the only way to learn it. And it's repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating, right? Obviamente, posiblemente esta semana que pasemos, se te van a quedar 5 verbos, 6 verbos. Yes, so, but that is
Dos.
the thing. Maybe 2, yes. Y ya luego, ya, importante empezar a aprenderlos. Luego ya si es separable o no es separable, ya lo iremos viendo luego, ya lo irás recordando luego, pero pues importante inicialmente es aprender los verbos inicialmente, right? Bueno, my
Yes,
dear.
teacher.
Entonces, for the first class, that's it. Tomorrow, we're going to have another review, but it's something easier. It's not so much like a incredible, crazy vocabulary, but it's easier. It's going to be about gerunds and infinitives and the different structures that we can manage, right? Something that we have seen before, but it's like more extensive, so we can talk a little bit more and go a little bit deeper into the topic. Ready, Andre?
Yes, teacher. I have a doubt.
Yes,
For
tell me.
example, in the case that say someone I want to go out with. Ah, bueno. No, ya. Ya. Es que estaba
What?
tratando de. No, estaba tratando de. Como de mirar los que tenían otro verbo.
Ah, otra preposición.
Ujú, para saber si estaba. Sí, sí, ya.
Exacto. Por ejemplo, este es uno de los que normalmente es intransitivo.
Go
Por
out.
ejemplo, digo yo, we went out. Yeah, that's it. We went out. Fin. Pero si quiero colocar el objeto después, ahí sí le tengo que colocar la tercera parte de go out with. ¿Mm?
Okay.
Ready?
Yes, teacher. Teacher, otras dos dudas.
Yeah, yeah.
Es que hay un tema que no me quedó muy claro en una de las lecciones que hice. eh, entonces quería saber que no recuerdo cómo programar, porque hay como unos horarios para asesoría,
Claro que sí, of course. Pues, André, eso me
pero no
escribes por
recuerdo cómo.
WhatsApp. Digamos que para programar no tienes que programarlo. Eso te va a aparecer.
Sí.
Yo te digo cuándo hay y ahí te aparece el botón para entrar sin necesidad de programar, ¿vale?
Ujú.
Entonces, escríbeme por WhatsApp, profe. Pues la siguiente es este viernes. Este viernes en la noche o el sábado como a las 11 de la mañana es la otra, más o menos.
Ok.
¿Listo? Entonces escríbeme, profe, voy a la del sábado o voy a la del viernes y yo te digo, listo, a las 11:30, a las 11:15, porque como son tantas personas, pues ahí yo cuadro los espacios, ¿vale?
Yes, teacher. Y other doubt is what is the topic that I can use for the checkpoint of the last weekend? The first
Ah,
part that uh, that is the part about the uh, Amazon.
About the Amazon. Ah, ya me acordé. Sí, of course, about the Amazon, the company, no about the Amazon, the
Yes.
region. Yes, of course. Ah, bueno, good. Eso fue, espérame, good. Ah, sí, of course, good. In that case, you're going to use the mixed conditionals. For example, you have to deny the refund of the person. You have to say, I'm sorry, but it's not possible to refund your
Yes.
money. Why? Because if you had taken care of the device, we wouldn't have that. Entonces, mixed conditionals for saying like, pilas, si usted no hubiera dañado el celular, no tendríamos que hacer esto. O si me hubiera escrito dentro del plazo, le devolvería su dinero. Pero como no lo hizo, pues, bye, right?
Sí.
Entonces,
Ah, bueno, más
mixed
o menos me imaginé.
conditionals. Uno de los temas es mixed conditionals. El otro puede ser Future, creo que no va tanto ahí. El anterior era, ah, Double Comparative, Double Relative Clauses. Entonces, por ejemplo, what is important here is the fact that you no sé qué, usando los dos relative clauses, what, where, bueno, así como quieras, who, where, who, what, depende, ¿vale?
In the Amazon exercise.
Yes, exactly. In
Yes.
the other
Ah.
one, I don't remember what is the exercise in
Eh,
the speaking part.
to talk about the future.
But into talking about the future, you use future perfect, future continuous,
Yes.
future perfect continuous, so on and so on.
Okay, teacher. Thank you
Right?
very much.
Bueno, my dear Andres, see you later. Nos vemos mañana, okay? Tomorrow at 8.
Yes, teacher. Thank you.
Bye, dear. See you soon.
Have a good night, teacher.
You too.
Bye.
Have a good night.